Well, do you think it's reasonable to have access to your partner's passwords and device codes? A quarter of Australians do, according to new research from eSafety Commissioner Julie Inman Grant, who joins me now. Good morning to you, Commissioner. It's really good to talk to you on this topic. I mean, we know there are a lot of practical, everyday reasons why perhaps you might have a partner's passcode, or you might sort of just check in on when they're getting home, that sort of thing. But for you, there are quite a few red flags in what Australians are saying here.
Right. For this 16 days of activism against gendered violence, this is really to raise awareness about technology-facilitated abuse as a form of coercive control. So yes, of course, in relationships, we may agree to share information, including passcodes, which we generally wouldn't recommend. But the point here is that in domestic and family violence situations, technology-facilitated violence is almost ubiquitous. And this extends the abuse through surveillance, harassment, and tracking. And these are the attitudes that we're concerned about today, that 1 in 4 Australians think that they should be given passcodes, that 1 in 8 Australians think that they should be able to track their partners and the like. There's a difference between privacy and consent, and then trying to tether your partner to an intimate relationship through technology, rather than doing this as a cooperative thing.
One of the figures that jumped out at me is almost 20% of people agreed, or strongly agreed, that wanting someone to be constantly available to reply to calls and texts and the like was a sign of care. But we do know, don't we, Commissioner, that the sort of access that people have, the requirement for them to be answering all the time, can be one of the red flags for coercive control.
Absolutely. So we take reports from the general public for image-based abuse, which is the non-consensual sharing of intimate images, but also serious adult cyber abuse. And a lot of these reports are from women who are in domestic and family violence situations and that are experiencing a lot of harassment, stalking, and doxing. So this is where your technology can be used as a weapon against you rather than as a tool or a lifeline. And sometimes it's decidedly low tech. It's 500 harassing text messages in a day. It's aggressive micro transactions in banking deposits. It can be drones over safe houses or cars actually stalling a kilometer beyond the family home. Technology is ubiquitous, and this is what makes coercive control using technology feel isolating, but also all-encompassing.
For younger Australians who have grown up using devices, it's part and parcel of their everyday lives. Now, that is quite different in some ways to older Australians who perhaps have different parameters with the way in which they use apps and devices. Are you concerned there's enough information, particularly to young women, to understand what are those concerning signs in relationships in terms of a partner wanting access to your device?
Right. Well, again, young people in these new generations are using technology in different ways. I mean, I'm amazed as I watch my own children use Snap Maps to figure out who else is down at Manly Beach at the same time. Mm-hmm. So that isn't nefarious. That is part of their connectivity. When it becomes nefarious is when it is stalking behavior, when it is surveillance behavior, and it's a form of coercive control. And we as parents need to role model this. We've got tons of information on our website, esafety.gov.au, around how to identify coercive control using technology, what it looks like, and where to get help. We're also working with domestic and family violence workers, so we encourage women and their children who think they are being victims of technology-facilitated abuse to talk to their caseworkers. We will soon have a national technology-facilitated abuse service to be able to help people across Australia that are experiencing this kind of coercive control.
Such important research at such an important time of the year. Julie Inman Grant, always great to talk to you. Thank you very much for highlighting
this. Thanks, Bridget.
Yeah, thank you.
If you or anyone you know was affected by this video, please contact Lifeline on 13 11 14 or 1-800-RESPECT, 1-800-737-732.